Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues TV for my live review of Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2. And to be honest guys, I don't really know what to feel and what to say right now because I'm just so stuck in two minds, because on the one hand I'm really disappointed and gutted, but on the other hand that second half just filled me with a lot of, pride is an easy word, but just hope, I guess. And it was just a really good performance against a really good team. And we could have gotten away with something, but that's exactly why I feel so disappointed and gutted at the same time, because that really was points up for grab today, whether that was 1 point or even 3 points in my opinion. And it's just really disappointing, and it's difficult to take. Of course, if you are new to Blues TV, I would massively appreciate it. We would all massively appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. Of course, this is my live review. There will be fan cams later. There will be a vlog of the game later on by, of course, Lewis. And yeah, also be sure, if you are watching, to drop a like on the live stream. That'd be great. And if you're watching this as a video later, also be sure to drop a like. That would be good. But to be honest, let's just get into the game, because there is a couple of things I want to talk about. We weren't great in the first half. When 2-0 down, should never have been 2-0 down, really, by the way the game went, but that's what it was. Start of the second half, really dodgy, really shaky, but then we got into it, dominated them, got a goal back, could have really gotten a draw out of it in the end, but it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be in the end, and Liverpool are a good team. If you still can't defend their pieces, I guess last year we couldn't. Now it seems to be even worse. What, 6 Premier League games in, and haven't we conceded a set piece goal in every single game so far this season? To be honest, it really would not surprise me if that was true. I'm not 100% sure whether that is a true stat, but it really wouldn't surprise me if it was. But let's just get into it. Starting off with the lineup, and that, to be honest, was exactly what I hoped that it would be, because literally everyone was fit, or were they? Or were they? Because we did start in a 4-3-3. Kept, of course, in goal, a centre-back partnership of Andreas Christensen and Fikayo Tomori. At right-back, it was... Can't think of it right now. Cesar Spilicueta, of course. Emerson Palmieri was back, starting at left-back, which we did expect, but still, I'm going to get to that in a minute. The midfield three of Jorginho, Kovacic, and N'Golo Kante. Again, N'Golo Kante was back as well. And then Mason Mount did start on the left wing, which I was surprised by. I didn't, we heard earlier in the day that he would be in the squad, but I didn't expect him to start either which way. Williams started on the right wing, and Tammy Abraham kept his starting place up front, which of course made sense. But really, the first thing that happened in the game was, well, first we went 1-0 down after we had a shaky start to the game. We just weren't good. We couldn't keep the ball. We didn't manage to beat Liverpool's press. Of course, by the way, guys, let me know in the chat whether everything's working. I do hope that it is working, but yeah, let me know whether the image, and the sound and everything is working fine. But yeah, we started off, we just struggled. Liverpool really high press. We couldn't get past it, and then once we did, we couldn't keep the ball. We just did absolutely nothing, and then we gave away a silly foul for Andreas Christensen. Just shouldn't foul Mane like there. Mane was with his back to goal. There was absolutely no need to foul him there. We give away the free kick, as we already saw that Marcos Alonso was warming up, and we weren't sure whether Emerson would be coming on. Journalists, that were there, did tweet that it looks like Alonso's coming on, even though then Emerson apparently said, no, he's fine to carry on and that kind of thing. But in the end, he did have to, be replaced by Alonso, but that was only straight after the goal. So that free kick that Christensen gave away, they kind of just, laid it off, I guess, played it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. We didn't move across quick enough, and he just blasted into the top corner. It is a silly foul to give away, but that was an absolute rocket of a shot. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about it. I mean, how many times has he actually scored? I know he's a good, striker of the ball. I get that. But, I would argue he doesn't get that in more than 2 out of 10 times. So, yeah, it was disappointing. But then Marcos Alonso comes on for Emerson, who, to be honest, in the second half, I can't really fault Alonso for much. Like, quite frankly, also helped by the fact that Tomori helped him out unbelievably well defensively. But I can't really be too angry at Alonso today. He had some decent crosses in there. Yes, he bottled some, but it's Alonso. What can I expect? But still, I think that he did harm us in overall play, because we just struggled to keep the ball even more than we would with Emerson in there, and it just slowed things down a bit more than it usually would. And then we actually get into the game more. And Andreas Christensen plays an unbelievable through ball to Tammy Abraham, who was just about onside. He's basically through and goal on his own. 1v1 versus the keeper. Mason Mount is to his left. Just to his left. Tammy Abraham is a striker, and he goes for it on his own and hits it right at the keeper. Adrian saves it. And then you're stuck in two minds. What does he do? Is he a striker? Is he that striker that has scored 7 goals in his last 3 Premier League games? Or should he just go with the safe option and just square it to Mount? Because that would have been an easy square and an easy happen for Mason Mount, and we're 1-0. And that's a completely different story. Of course, you can never know for sure how the game goes if we get that, equaliser. But I'd much rather be at 1-0 at that point then go 2-0 down literally 2 minutes after, which is literally what happened. And that was disappointing. You know, I'm not going to like slate Tammy Abraham for it. He's a striker. Fair enough, you go for it. I'm not sure whether you can hear the plane outside right now. It's a bit warm in my room, so open the window. If you can, I do apologise. Don't know why planes are flying about, like chill. But anyway, let's keep going with that. He could have just squared it to Mount. It was just such an easy square to him. And, you know, Mount was so furious at him not passing. I can't imagine that Mount didn't shout for it. Unlike, for example, the game against Valencia midweek, when Willian didn't square it to Pedro. Pedro wasn't even that angry, or didn't seem that angry anyway, at Willian not squaring it to him. So I'm like, maybe he didn't shout, and hence why I couldn't be too mad, because maybe, you know, he just didn't see him there. But Mount was so angry that I'm sure he did shout for it, and Tammy should have squared it. And then 2 minutes later, we did actually make it 1-1 in between that. Through Azpilicueta through actually what was a really good goal. You know, kind of a nice move that ended, I think it was an Alonso cross. It might have been someone else's cross. Not 100% sure on that anymore. But Tammy Abraham went for it with a backheel flick that the goalkeeper did manage to save, but then it bounced into the box. Azpilicueta was there really quickly, pushed up really hard the pitch, and then he just, you know, basically just scraped it over the line, I guess. A scrappy goal. But then as VAR revealed, it was offside. Now, you can debate about that situation. How far back should VAR go with offside? Because, yes, it was offside. You know, Mason Mount was a couple of inches offside in the build-up to the goal. But how far back do you really go? That is obviously the question that I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I spoke to a couple of referee mates of mine, and they didn't really have a definitive answer on it either. Because if you think about it, you know, the advantage rule, if you're fouled and you keep playing, and then you lose the ball 2 passes later, you don't go back to that foul either, do you now? And we had a good 5 or 6 passes between Mount being offside and, you know, that goal being, you know, being scored. And there was no offside after that. So if the advantages don't go back to then, you know, why does the offside? I don't know. But it was offside in the end. I'm not going to complain about it because, you know, it is what it is. I like VAR in that sense. Yes, it's annoying today, but, you know, I'd rather, you know, I'd rather know that the opponent isn't going to score an offside goal against us than, you know, win with an offside goal or get an offside goal equaliser. Maybe that's just me. Obviously, I'm disappointed, but generally, I just, you know, I prefer it that way, I guess. And then not long after that, we were obviously gutted by that. You know, we were all celebrating. It took ages for that to actually come through, and no one really thought about it being offside, simply because it was such a scrappy goal and the offside was so much before then. And then Liverpool make it 2-0 from a silly free kick. That, in my opinion, is never a free kick. Never a free kick. Gini Wijnaldum just chips it over Azpilicueta. Aspi, for some reason, jumps. I don't know what he tries to head the ball. If he doesn't jump, there's no chance even the ref gives a foul. But he jumps, he comes down from his jump basically, and Gini Wijnaldum just runs into him. I mean, Aspi jumped straight in the air, came down, Wijnaldum runs into him, and it's a foul. I don't understand how it's a foul, but it was. And then shocking defending. You know, it was a good delivery by, I think, Andy Robertson. But then Alonso, who came on and, if anything, should be helping us to defend set pieces compared to Emerson, you know, just leaves Firmino completely on his own. Firmino is just 2 yards in front of our line of defence, just on the edge of our 6-yard box. Alonso's just with no one. You know, everyone else pretty much had an opponent to mark, I guess, or to deal with. Alonso did nothing. Firmino just comes in. Firmino isn't even at all and just heads it in. And also Kepa. I know he's short for a goalkeeper, but he needs to try to come out for these kind of balls more. Like, it was literally at the edge of the box. The keeper can come for that. And I guarantee that Courtois would have come for that. I guarantee that De Gea, Ter Stegen, Alisson would have come for that ball. And it's a little bit frustrating. I'm not going to blame Kepa for it, but those are the things that still just annoy me a little bit with him, and he needs to work on that kind of part of his game, and it's just not ingrained into him that he needs to come for these types of balls. And that was 2-0 down, and nothing else really happened in the first half. Going into the second half, first of all, we should have been 3-0 down twice, because that was tough. that was lucky. I think, again, a corner, and then from the rebound from the corner, Firmino was left completely on his own by the far post, completely unmarked, went for the volley, Kepa with a great save. Still, Firmino could have done a bit better, but great save by Kepa to keep it at 2-0 at that point. And then, you know, still in the same move, arguably, like the ball never went out of play and we never started our own attack. Again, the ball is played into the middle, and you know, not actually played into the middle. It was kind of a 1-2 between Alexander-Arnold and some midfielder, who then played Alexander-Arnold in again, who went on the run in behind Alonso. The linesman actually flagged it offside incorrectly, so the goal would have stood had it happened. But anyway, Alexander-Arnold then plays in the low cross. Zuma tries to clear it. Gets a foot on it, but not a lot. It kind of just goes through Zuma, just kind of takes a little deflection, hits Aspi right in the leg, and is on his way into goal again. Again, Kepa with an unbelievable reaction save to keep it out, and then it was flagged offside anyway, but it would have stood had Kepa not saved it, because the linesman's decision of ruling it offside would have been incorrect. But after that, it was us. After that, we took control. Yes, Liverpool, I don't know whether they were a bit tired. Of course, they had a midweek game against Napoli and stuff. But we managed to take control of this. Time wasting. Alexander Arnold got booked for time wasting, which I actually liked because it was a really early booking for time wasting in the game, which referees don't do a lot. So I have to respect that from, I think it was Michael Oliver. I have to respect that. Generally, not the greatest performance by him, I thought, but especially for that 2-0, of course. But I can't be too mad at that. That was a good decision, in my opinion. And then it was us. And, you know, we didn't manage to create a lot of huge chances, but we did have our chances. And then N'Golo Kante in the, 71st minute, did make it 1-2, I guess. I'm like, how on earth did you do that? I mean, all game long, I thought, he doesn't look fit. He looks tired, especially first half. He just didn't look quite there. And it just seemed like at some point in the second half, he just clicked into gear. And then he was just there, and he just kind of ran around Fabinho, who I don't know what he was doing. Then he went through 2 Liverpool players and then just curled it into the top corner. Absolute beautiful finish. They just didn't expect it from Kante, which is just perfect. But yeah, you know, he's only a DM, right? He's only a DM. He should never play so far advanced up the pitch. Yeah, well, then we wouldn't have scored a goal today. Sorry, just need a drink. A lot of talking. We'll come to Pulisic later on. You know, obviously towards the end of the stream, guys, I will get to all of your comments in the chat, I guess, later in the live stream. I will just talk through everything else I have to say. But yeah, for the rest of the game, we were trying. We were really trying. We were dominating possession. We were winning so many duels, which I found to be really impressive because in the first half we struggled with that. The 50-50s that I mentioned in the preview yesterday, that we needed to win to stand a chance against Liverpool. We didn't win those in the first half. We did win those in the second half, and hence why we had a much better performance. And then in the end, Mason Mount had a decent chance when he was played in. On the volley, he just put it over from just the edge of the 6-yard box. Put it over. Michy Batshuayi had a header as well, who came on for Tammy Abraham. He had a header as well, and it's a tricky one because he had to stop because the cross by Alonso came just in behind him when he was making his run forward, and he was quite far away from goal. He tried to direct it towards the far corner, put it just wide. But that was what it was, and then nothing really else happened. I mean, we had a couple of half chances, I guess, but that was then 1-2 at the end, and we, again, didn't win a game at Stamford Bridge, and this time, lost the first time, in the league at Stamford Bridge, and it was disappointing. What is also disappointing, the injury curse just keeps sticking with us. First off, 2 bloody injuries. Emerson Palmieri had to come off after, well, I mentioned it, just after the goal, after 15 minutes already. I didn't really see him limp, but he didn't put pressure on his left leg before he was subbed off. So I assume it was the hamstring issue that he had from being with the Italian national squad. He started. What are you on about, Alan? Jorginho was incredible. Sod off. Sorry, mate. Sod off. Jorginho was really good. Like, bloody hell. The only leader we had on that pitch today. Fuck off. Seriously. Like, how can you say that? That was ridiculous. But yeah, Emerson off. He will be out for a little while now, I assume, because we want to be a little bit... What am I going to say? Like a little bit more careful with him now because we clearly brought it back too soon. Could you blame Frank Lampard for that? I don't know. We don't know the details of it. We don't know what Emerson said, whether he wants to play. We don't know what the medical, staff said. It's a difficult one to say. It just is what it is, I guess. It was just unfortunate. And then Christensen picked up an injury as well when Salah was through. Tomori was trying to run with him. Salah kind of does Tomori in that moment. Christensen managed to block Salah's shot, and then Tomori just kind of tumbles into Christensen's leg, and it looked like he had an injury at the back of his knee. There is a ligament there. I hope it's not sure. I hope it's not too bad because we can't have another injury. Like, Jesus, no idea how long Antonio Rudiger, how much longer he's going to be out for. But that is that. And obviously I mentioned it later on, Batshuayi for Tammy Abraham was the last substitution. Not sure why that was the substitution. I mean, I didn't think Tammy was incredible today, but I didn't think that would make such a huge difference. You can talk about Pulisic, but did I think taking Mount of Willian off for Pulisic would have made a big difference today? People are going to disagree with me today. People are going to disagree with me, apparently, with Jorginho always passing backwards when all he does is pass forwards and, all these unbelievable switch plays, which is where we create half our chances. But, okay, mate, if you guys believe, that is the case, fair play. Each to their own, I guess. Everyone's allowed to their own opinion. But I don't agree. But let's just run through a couple of the performances. Kepa could have done a bit better on the second goal, but had 2 unbelievable saves early in the second half. Can't fault him. Aspie, I thought was good today. Didn't really get done. Was unfortunate to give that free kick away. Don't think it is a free kick before we conceded 2-0. Christensen was okay before he came off. Zuma was okay when he came on. Tomori, really good. literally put Mo Salah in his pocket by one moment, literally pocketed him. Absolutely unbelievable. His pace is ridiculous. His smartness, like his game intelligence is good as well. Got booked in the first half for a hard, for a tough challenge, which was a bit harsh, but as in was a bit of a harsh tackle, but it is what it is. Alonso, better than usual, but because Tomori was so good, but still his crossing isn't good, and he still slows things down too much. But clearly, Alonso playing a left back isn't the reason why Frank Lampard played a 3 at the back against Valencia. So that makes that decision even more of a ridiculous decision last week in midweek on Tuesday. So I'm again not happy about that. Jorginho, I thought was really good. Had a couple of unbelievable leadership moments when he just stood up to what's his face, Henderson, and obviously he was the guy pushing the team along for the entire game, and he had a couple of unbelievable passes in there which just dictated everything good we did in the second half came through Jorginho. Pretty much always does, but I thought it was great. Kovacic, not so much today, lost the ball a few too many times, didn't win as many tackles as he usually does, not that great. Kante, first half, struggled, just was barely visible, it was really just not present. Didn't win any tackles, didn't really get into the game enough. Second half, though, unbelievable. Scored a great goal. What a machine he is. That guy is an absolute monster. How can you not have pre-season, play 3 games, be injured again, come back, and be such a monster? I thought, he's not fit, he's tired and stuff. And then after 70 minutes of the game, he actually properly comes alive. The guy is ridiculous. I don't understand how N'Golo Kante works. Mount missed that, chance late on. Missed the chance late on. Considering his ankle problems, he looked a little bit sore towards the end of the game, but he played well. Not incredible, but he played well. Struggled in the first half a little bit, got more into it in the second half. Willian, people are going to say he was shocking again. I thought he was one of our best attacking player, arguably. The only guy that did something. There was this one moment that I really thought, showed what Willian was today. He won the ball, did some really nice piece of dribbling in midfield, carried the ball forward. Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount made the run, but made the run way too soon. Willian laid the ball around, I think, Henderson to get around him or Wijnaldum or whoever it was. And then as soon as he got on the ball and looked up, they were already offside. They just left too soon. I don't understand. They just went on the run too soon, and then people are going to blame Willian for playing a poor pass, for playing the pass too late, for them being offside. Well, that was actually a good ball, but they just went on the run a tiny bit too soon. I thought Willian was decent today. Not incredible, don't get me wrong, but he was decent today, and I don't think Pulisic would have done significantly better. Sammy Abraham should have done better on that chance early on. I'm sorry. He should have done better on that chance early on. He should have. You either have to score that or you square it. It's as simple as that. It's a bit like the Ross Barkley situation with the penalty. If you're going to send everyone away, even if you're the first penalty taker, you have to score. And he didn't. And it's obviously disappointing because who knows what happens. If we get that equaliser, maybe the rest of the first half is a completely different story. And we push on and maybe we get a second goal. But at the same time, we could still lose 2-1. At the same time, we could win 2-1. At the same time, we could end in a draw. You never know. But it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. And we have to look at the positives, right? I mean, we played a Liverpool team twice now. Yes, we lost against them twice. I guess we drew against them 1-1 in 90, 2-2 in 120 in the Super Cup. And then again, we lost today. Slightly unfortunate. Referee mistake, in my opinion, to even give that free kick away for the 2-0. Still can't defend their pieces. Silly free kick to give away for the 1-0. Have a VAR, have VAR take a goal away from us that literally by that much offside, whether you can debate should that goal, should an offside decision that long before the goal, 5 or 6 passes, actually account into that or not? You can debate that. I don't know the exact ruling on that, by the books, I guess. And we get one back, have our chances, 3 big ones. Obviously, the Tammy one I mentioned, Mason Mount, Michy Batshuayi is there, and we don't get it back. But Liverpool are on 6 wins out of 6. They're the best team in the league right now, even though Man City won 8-0 yesterday. And we can go toe-to-toe with them. It's just about consistency with us. And obviously, injuries are a problem. Emerson being out again is a problem. Christensen being out is a problem. Rudiger is still out, is a problem. I hope he's back soon. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Reece James should play a part in the midweek Carabao Cup game on Wednesday. They should play a part in that. I'm not sure whether they'll start, but that's obviously big that they're back. Hopefully they're not back too soon. A bit like others. N'Golo Kante being back is big. Mason Mount's injury not being serious is big as well. And then we need Ruben back. But the injuries are still a problem and we need to get that consistency into it. We have so many young players. We have so many young players, it's not as easy to be consistent. But that first half just reminded me so much of Sarri's bad spell last season. When we just try to play it out from the back, the opponent will press our, regista. And then we just didn't have anyone near enough movement to play it out. And that's exactly what happened today. You know, we just didn't have enough movement to get around Liverpool's press. And then even when we did, Tammy Abraham couldn't, you know, keep the ball against Matip, and Van Dijk, Giroud couldn't keep the ball against Matip, and Joe Gomez and Van Dijk wasn't in the Super Cup. Giroud wasn't even on the bench today, which I thought was a bit weird. Not that I have a big problem with it, but I didn't expect it. But yeah, guys, let me just talk about a couple of your, you know, comments in the chat, and after that, you know, I will leave it there. Poor player selection by Frank. I don't necessarily believe so. I mean, on the injury situations, we don't really know. But generally, I thought that was exactly the right formation to play. I think we just weren't quite at it in the first half. You know, if there is more movement in that midfield, we're fine. It's probably Kante just coming back. You know, he took a while to get into it. Mason Mount probably the same. Emerson probably the same. I think it was decent. Jorginho was decent and made some mistakes, but who didn't make any mistakes? Everyone made some mistakes, and he had some great interceptions, had some great passes. And was just really important generally. Even Klopp didn't make so much excuses before 2 Barcelona game. Pathetic cry. I don't know what you're on about. We need Sancho. Good performance, but we need to defend set pieces better. Yeah, we do. We need to sort that out. I don't know what it is about. Like, I'm not even sure whether we're actually doing fully zonal marking or whether we're doing man-to-man marking, because like it's just mixes. And that, first of all, can't be a good idea. And if we do zonal marking, it's all over the shop. It's literally ridiculous. Well, I mean, Lampard can be blamed for the set piece defending because, you know, he's the manager. Kovacic is a liability. Mount should be in the middle and get Pulisic on the wing. In most games, I agree. Not that Kovacic is a liability, but that Mount should play in part of the midfield 3, but not against Liverpool. I thought we needed a slightly more defensive player in there, which Mount did provide. It was generally weird today. We tried to press, but because we were so worried about their fullbacks, our wingers stayed quite deep. So next to Tammy Abraham, we had one of our midfield 3 press, and that... excuse me. Sorry. That meant next to Tammy Abraham, we had one of the midfield 3 push up constantly to press with them, and that left huge gaps in midfield, which they exploited, and which is how they got past our press very, very easily, consistently. So that was a problem. Drop William for Pulisic. Don't think William was bad today, but you know, Pulisic certainly will get a game in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. If he doesn't, that's weird. So he needs to play in that and hopefully play well. You should have started with Pulisic. I don't necessarily agree, but maybe we should have done. Maybe we should have come on. And I'm pretty sure that Pulisic probably does come on for Mason Mount in that game if we don't have 2 injury substitutions in the first half. So you have to cut Lampard slack that way. But when you say, why didn't Pulisic come on? Because we had 2 injury substitutions in the first half. That's why. Alonso's just way too slow. I agree, even though it wasn't, you know, definitely wasn't his worst game in the slightest. Kante and Cheek to play DM. No, let's never play a 4-2-3-1 because that's just a stupid idea. That's how we lost today and against Valencia. Didn't see your first comment. Sorry, mate. Rashford, don't know what you're on about. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. I've been going for 22 minutes as well. But yeah, just to finish it off, it's disappointing, but it was a very spirited and good second half performance. N'Golo Kante is a machine. Mason Mount and Abraham's misses were costly. But we're going to, you know, pick our heads up and go again. You know, we're going to have to go again. It is the season I expected, ups and downs. And it's just what we're going to get. We're going to see where we end the season. We're going to see, do we come 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th? It doesn't really matter. I mean, okay, 4th would matter. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. And we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have these ups and downs. And there is promise in this team. There's promise in these youngsters. There's promise with the players that are still coming back from injury. And I don't think there's much point in being too disheartened today. It was a decent enough performance and a very good performance in the second half against a very good team. Arguably the best team in the country at the moment. And, and the champions of Europe as well. So we have to pick our heads up. It's upwards and onwards. And yeah, you know, if you did enjoy this live stream, I would really appreciate a like on it. If you're still watching, drop a like right now. If you're watching this later as a video, please drop a like as well. Leave me your thoughts on everything that I mentioned on the game down in the comment section below once this live stream has turned into a video. And of course, be sure to subscribe to Blues TV. That would be massively appreciated. You know, of course, there will be fan cams later on. There will be a vlog, all sorts of content, obviously midweek, and we will talk about the Grimsby game on Wednesday as well. So yeah, if you fancy any of that, please be sure to subscribe. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Joes. It's upwards and onwards. Can't speak anymore today. It's been a long day. Yeah. Cheers. I'll just see you when I see you.